This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Emergency department closures. Staffing struggles lead to more closure hours at many rural healthcare facilities in the province. Coastline access. Neighbors in a tiny community speak out about a man-made change to their local beach. And Halifax Pride. We bring you the sights and sounds of the big parade through the city's downtown.
Some much-needed rain falling on Sunday and more localized showers and thunderstorms today. As for what's ahead, return to some sunnier conditions. I'll have those details, your full forecast, coming up.
Good evening. Many rural emergency departments in Nova Scotia lack the necessary staff to be able to maintain consistent operating hours. The CBC's Michael Gorman takes a look at the numbers and what's happening to try to help fill the gaps.
A closure sign like this one in Digby is something no one wants to see when they attend an emergency department. But staffing shortages here mean that sign has been getting a lot of use. But it's not just Digby. In the last 3 months, 3 rural emergency departments have each been closed for more than 1,400 hours. In Digby, things could soon begin to improve. The area's community navigator says 2 nurse practitioners will soon relocate from the United States, and an additional doctor could join the team by the end of the year. That should help the 1 full-time emergency doctor currently in town.
If we're open more often, it's less busy, in those crucial times when you've been closed for so many days, you just get bombarded with people.
An official with Nova Scotia Health says despite the closures, there are no plans to downgrade operations at the sites.
Some of it is really around making sure that we can give people care closer to home. And so that's when you see things like virtual urgent care being stood up across 20 plus sites around the province to make sure that people aren't unnecessarily traveling to some of those larger sites for things that they could be cared for virtually at home.
Virtual urgent care functions even when an emergency department is closed. Patients see a nurse in person and meet with a doctor virtually. The NDP health critic knows the challenges of rural emergency departments well. Rod Wilson worked as a doctor before entering politics and still picks up the occasional ED shift. He says the government needs a clear plan outlining when sites will be open and the staffing complement required to make that happen.
If there's a plan, we're not aware of it. And so I think there needs to be kind of some planning and transparency around that.
Back in Digby, officials here are hoping people start seeing signs like this one less frequently. Michael Gorman, CBC News, Digby.
A child was found dead at the base of a cliff in New Waterford Saturday afternoon. Cape Breton Regional Police say they responded to a report of a missing 6-year-old autistic child after a mother noticed their child had left home through a kitchen window. The body was eventually discovered in the water below a cliff not far from the home. Police say the matter is being investigated. A home in Kentville built more than a century ago is destroyed after catching fire. Crews received a call that a 2.5-story home on Aldershot Road in North Kentville was on fire at around 2 a.m. Sunday morning. The Kentville Volunteer Fire Department says there were 4 people inside at the time and all escaped without injury. The cause of the fire is under investigation, but it's not believed to be suspicious. A conflict over man-made changes to the coast has been brewing in a Cumberland County community for almost a decade. Some residents say they're fed up. Taryn Grant explains.
No doubt, it's a beautiful coastline, but it's not the same coastline as it was just a decade ago. Wards Brook, the feature this community is named for, didn't always flow into the ocean like it does now. Locals say it turned at the top of the beach and hugged the coastline. A continuous stretch of beach ran in front of it, even at high tide.
The brook needs to go back to where it always ran, in behind the gravel bar. The alterations that were made illegally to the brook need to be repaired and corrected and put back the way they were.
Bowser says one of his neighbors dug a trench to divert the brook. Then another neighbor built a rock wall in the brook's original path, across the only public access point to the beach.
My kids grew up playing on that beach, And now to not even be able to get down to the beach without a really big hassle, it's really just sad.
Interfering with a watercourse without a permit is prohibited under Nova Scotia's Environment Act, but it's not clear if anyone has been charged. The province says this is an ongoing matter and won't comment.
They're not being transparent about this at all.
Nicholas Winkler has seen coastal access issues like this before.
There doesn't seem to be a good mechanism to resolve these conflicts, and they keep repeating themselves time and time again. We see them crop up over time in different places around the province.
Residents of Wardsbrook have asked the province repeatedly for updates. Earlier this year, the Environment Minister said locals would be kept informed.
I want to encourage residents of that area in Cumberland County to reach out to our Amherst office, our local administrator in the area, with their questions on this.
The last significant update came more than a year ago. Officials said the responsible parties were supposed to put the brook back where it was. The expected completion date was 10 months ago. The work has not yet started. Taryn Grant, CBC News, Wardsbrook.
A new program is helping refugees start careers in Nova Scotia's construction industry. The initiative helps people from war-torn countries get on their feet here in Canada, and advocates say it's addressing a significant demand for skilled trade workers in the province. Josh Hoffman reports.
Dozens of refugees who've had to flee wars in their home countries are completing the Bridge to Construction program this summer. The 9-week program teaches newcomers skills for doing jobs like pouring concrete, framing, drywall, and flooring. It's a collaboration between Nova Scotia Community College and the Immigrant Services Association of Nova Scotia.
It's important to match people's interests and skills with the jobs in demand. It has to work both ways. And so last year, again, we needed people in the construction industry. It's a known fact in Nova Scotia. And our clients, they come with the desire to work.
The big thing about this program is building confidence within the students and allowing them to, when they take that next step after this program, be able to kind of work with a company and grow within that company and build relationships and continue their career in construction.
A report released earlier this year says Nova Scotia needs 15,000 new construction workers by the year 2034. Now, this program started last year as a smaller pilot project, but it saw immediate success. 19 of the original 20 participants were offered construction jobs straight out of the program. That led to the program doubling in size this year. But it's not only addressing a need in the construction industry, it's helping set up these refugees to succeed in their new lives.
Without having a job is difficult, so you need to have a job, you need to feed yourself, to be independent. So it feels good. It made me to feel confident and to have a future, a good future.
To believe in us, to believe the potential that we are, so that we can bring something on the table to start a new career and to be independent. We are so grateful. We are not going to take this opportunity for granted.
Josh Hoffman, CBC News, Halifax.
And we've got Jay Scotland in with the weather. So temperatures went down a little bit, but we did get that much needed rain.
Yeah, and it was high. We'll go over the rainfall totals coming up a little later, Amy. It was a bit of feast or famine, highly localized. Some areas a good amount, other areas maybe would have liked to see a bit more fall. But today, temperatures cooler, more of those showers, isolated thunderstorms, and that chance will continue as we look through the next few hours, certainly for eastern areas, even through the overnight hours tonight. There's a look at our daytime highs today. And yeah, it certainly was on the cool side with that brisk and cool wind. We'll continue to see that wind gusting upwards of 50+ kilometers per hour from the northwest this evening. Thunderstorm risk will diminish over the next few hours for most areas, and then we'll see a clear sky for most areas through the overnight hours into tomorrow. Few clouds developing into the afternoon, but still more sun than cloud. Still a bit breezy, and that wind on the cooler and drier side from the northwest, so that will make for a still very mild, slightly below seasonal day with very little to no humidity. So quite comfortable aside from that brisk wind for your Tuesday, Amy.
Yeah, sounds lovely. All right, thanks, Jay. Tim Houston, along with other Canadian premiers, have gathered for a 3-day meeting in central Ontario. They're talking about many issues, including Donald Trump's trade war. One of the premiers at the meeting told reporters that slapping tariffs on U.S. goods could harm Canadians.
Tariffs imposed by President Trump are going to be painful to American families and American industry. The same holds true for counter tariffs and Canadians, and we're seeing that in Saskatchewan. So, I've never been a big proponent of increasing counter tariffs and that sort of thing. Let's all get to the table and let's find a way to renewed USMCA or renewed North American trade agreement.
The premiers will welcome the Prime Minister to the event tomorrow. Mark Carney is expected to update them on the status of trade talks with the U.S. 55,000 unionized workers at Canada Post have begun voting on the Crown Corporation's latest contract offer. Members have until August 1st to accept or reject the proposal. The contract offer includes wage hikes of about 13% over 4 years and a signing bonus. But union officials are urging members to vote against it. Talks have been ongoing for more than a year and a half. Last month, the Minister of Jobs and Families, Patty Hajdu, asked the Canada Industrial Relations Board to force the vote. Once again, the low tide is causing problems with the Nova Scotia to PEI ferry. Northumberland Ferry says starting tomorrow until next Monday, some crossings will be canceled. The cancellations start tomorrow, Tuesday, July 22nd, and run until Monday, July 28th. It's usually the afternoon and early evening crossings. This is for crossings departing both Caribou and Wood Islands. To see a full list of crossings affected, you can visit ferries.ca. Researchers from Dalhousie University and the University of New Brunswick had a hand in a new Apple TV Plus documentary series that delves into the world's most endangered animals. The researchers helped filmmakers get a close-up look at the North Atlantic right whale. One of the episodes saw filmmakers joining the scientists as they dropped tags with cameras into North Atlantic right whale using drones. Jillian Carter is a graduate student who was on the cruise that took place last summer. She was doing research on the small crustaceans that are a food source for right whales.
It was kind of surreal, it has been a lifelong dream of mine to work on boats like this, and then to have an Apple TV film crew come aboard. It's kind of like, wow, I can't believe this is real life. So that was really cool. That was really cool to watch.
The Wild Ones debuted on Apple TV earlier this month. Downtown Halifax was bustling on Saturday afternoon for the 2025 Pride Parade. Thousands of people lined the streets to watch, and our CBC camera crew was there to capture the parade sights and sounds. Have a look. And it's a beautiful night out there. Jay's up next with the full weather forecast. See you in a few minutes.
This weather update is brought to you by Access Wellness Nova Scotia. Book your appointment today for free, confidential mental wellness support.
All right, Jay is back. And Jay, you've been tracking who got some rain and how much over the weekend.
Yeah, taking a look at those unofficial numbers from Environment and Climate Change Canada, of course, our COCORAS, our volunteer observers across the Maritimes, it was really feast or famine. Rainfall was highly localized as we look to what fell through the day on Sunday and into Sunday night. Looking at today, again, a lot of showers falling as convective showers coming with thunderstorms, and that means you see a few millimeters in one spot, barely anything falling, just a short trip down the road. And that was what we saw. And I will say, we did see a decent, and any rain is beneficial at this point, we did see a decent amount fall in a few spots as we looked through the valley. Down into the Halifax area, 20 to 25 millimeters of rain. Sheet Harbor was close to 30. You saw over 20 millimeters down into the South Shore, the Yarmouth area. Less so as we work a little further east as we look to Sydney, for example, but we are still looking at wet weather occurring there. Again, it is highly localized, but the further north and east you are, the longer those showers and thunderstorms are to persist through the evening and overnight hours, even into early tomorrow morning for eastern areas. Temperatures were quite cool today. That also is very helpful in terms of helping with that lack of rainfall, helping with reducing that fire risk as well, which that rain really was beneficial on that regard. You can see those temperatures for most areas were near to just over 20 degrees. Was still a little on the humid side, though, today, which is why we did have the unsettled conditions and the risk of those thunderstorms, in addition to the localized or scattered showers and pockets of rain that have been building through. So we will be looking at, again, risk of thunderstorms persisting for eastern areas. Even past midnight tonight, you'll need to be sky aware. As we move through the overnight hours tonight, we will continue to watch that clearing trend from west to east. That wind staying quite brisk as well from the north to northwest. You'll see that easing into the early morning hours. Still anywhere from 20 gusting to over 40 kilometers per hour. Gusts to 50 possible for eastern areas into the morning as that area of low pressure departs. And then really that clearing trend for most of mainland Nova Scotia through the overnight hours tonight really sets us up for a sunny one tomorrow. You may battle a few cloudy periods for northern and eastern areas, but mainly sunny conditions for you as well. We can see through the day, and that wind will be easing through the day as well. Comfortable aside from the brisk wind. Not a lot of humidity. Not necessarily warm enough for a beach day, but should be quite nice for your Tuesday. Then into Wednesday, ridge of high pressure tracking to our south. I'm not expecting cloud cover to be as thick as what we're seeing on this forecast model behind me, more in the way of a mix of sun and cloud for your Wednesday. And temperatures will start to tick up as the week progresses as well. We'll see those humidex values returning for folks that like that summer heat and humidity. But we'll see a clearing sky across much of mainland Nova Scotia through the overnight hours tonight. It will still be windy, so we're not looking at a risk of any widespread fog setting up, but temperatures could be cool for inland low-lying areas, getting close to that 10-degree mark, possible for a few spots. Most areas between 11 and 14 degrees through the overnight hours tonight. Up towards the Northumberland shore and east through Cape Breton, this is where you could be looking at some showers persisting for a few hours past midnight. May come with a rumble of thunder still past midnight for eastern areas as well. And then as we take a look at tomorrow, it is going to be mainly sunny, still breezy, warm enough, but not too warm or humid. This is, if it wasn't for the wind, almost a Goldilocks forecast for myself. I know weather is subjective, but we are looking at, I think for most folks, a pretty agreeable forecast. Make sure you've got the sunscreen handy, as it will be a very high UV index. But temperatures for the most part near to just over 22, 23 degrees. And in terms of a humidex, maybe 1 to 3 degrees on top of the actual temperature for what it feels like, which is very, very comfortable. Just if you're hitting up a patio for a lunch break, make sure you keep an eye on your napkin. It will still be quite breezy for your Tuesday. As we look to Wednesday, we will see a partly cloudy sky or a mix of sun and cloud. I think at times, though, we'll be leaning towards the sunnier side of that mix. Into Thursday, we'll see some cloudy periods developing. And then as we move into Friday, there is a chance late Friday into Saturday morning, we'll see some showers. Those temperatures will be ticking up in a big way as we edge towards the weekend as well. And I do expect at the moment, still a long way out, that sky to be clearing late morning into the afternoon ahead of a fairly sunny second half of the day for Saturday. Decently sunny for Sunday as well, and that temperature should be up into the mid to high 20s. Humidex values could be back over 30 as well. So if you're not a fan of the cool weather, the cooler weather, know that that summer heat and humidity is not that far of a wait for you as well.
Making a return. All right. Thanks for that, Jay. Northern Pulp is gearing up to sell off its assets after announcing last week it's giving up on the idea of a new mill near Liverpool. A study concluded a new mill would not generate the 14% rate of return needed to be viable. The move is a blow to the province's forestry sector. I'm joined now by Scott Christian, mayor of the region of Queens Municipality. So, Mayor, when you heard the news, what was your first reaction?
It didn't come as a surprise to me, to the municipality. We've been engaging with some of the impacted parties and Domtar, Paper Excellence, Northern Pulp along the way. And when they had been signaling that they needed more time to explore the feasibility and asking for extensions, I guess it became in our minds increasingly less likely that the project was going to move forward. So not a surprise, definitely frustrating. And you characterize it as a blow to the forestry sector. It's an important sector for Queens County, for this part of Nova Scotia, and certainly those industry partners are struggling to find a meaningful market, an appropriate market for the residuals, for their pulpwood, and for their shavings and sawdust and chips. Wood chips. And so obviously a frustrating day or announcement for those folks. But it was met, honestly, with mixed reviews here in the community. There was a lot of opposition against the idea of the mill coming to Queens County. And so it was sort of mixed emotions in terms of the way reaction here in Queens County. Yeah.
Now, the pulp mill would have been at the site of the former Bowater Mersey plant, and as you obviously know, the plant closed in 2012. What has the economy in Liverpool been like since then?
Yeah, so we're a community in transition. Certainly, after the closure of the mill was a big blow to the local economy and to the community. We saw the exodus of a lot of young professionals, and so with that comes the community impact as well. And we haven't replaced the sort of the single large big industrial employer. There are diversified kind of entrepreneurial endeavors that have taken place both at the Port Mersey site, or the former site of the Mersey Bowater Paper Company, and then in other areas. And so I guess the activity that's going on there now is that we have Aqualitas, which is a pretty large cannabis company, some shipbreaking going on there, HRS and Industrial, company working various industrial applications, and some building supplies and a modular building company. So there has been some economic activity happening in the commercial park. We'd like to see more. That's a holding of what was Nova Scotia Lands and is now Build Nova Scotia. And so we're working with those provincial stakeholders to try to see what a strategy for making use of that the industrial park, what that looks like.
Are there any rumblings of maybe another company who might be interested in building a new mill?
Well, there certainly are the industry stakeholders in the forestry industry, and the biggest one in our neck of the woods is Freeman's Lumber. They're always looking for. I've been really impressed by the innovation and creative thinking, and we need to lean on them in terms of supporting them to as they work to understand where they can find a market for the residuals and the byproducts from the lumber industry here in Nova Scotia. And they have a lot of various plans, and they didn't put all their eggs in one basket. They saw the proposed mill by Domtar Paper Excellence as kind of the home run solution for them, but they certainly didn't put all their eggs in one basket, and they have various ideas and avenues in terms of where to go next. And I think that in speaking to some of the folks who are engaged in the industry, it's not the outcome they were looking for, but as with any entrepreneurs, certainty is a good thing. And so having some clarity about the future direction of this and seeing that it doesn't look like that mill is going to be the solution that they were looking for, now at least they have clarity and they can look to what is the future direction, and they can start to explore some of those other avenues. And yes, there are interested parties exploring what different bioproduct facilities could look like. There's lots of different things that you can do with the byproducts from the lumber industry, and they're always looking at creative solutions and ways to find a market for those products.
All right, well, we'll be following what happens next. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate the opportunity to speak to this. Thanks very much.
Coming up, Prime Minister Mark Carney meets with a delegation of U.S. senators as trade war pressure mounts. And an exclusive CBC News investigation is raising new questions about the death rate of federal inmates. Welcome back. As we told you earlier, Canada's premiers have gathered for a 3-day meeting in central Ontario. They're talking about multiple issues, including how to respond to Donald Trump's trade war and working with Indigenous leaders. The CBC's Kate McKenna reports.
As the clock ticks to the August 1st trade deal deadline, premiers are kicking off a 3-day summit in Ontario's cottage country.
I'm feeling fantastic. Welcome to Huntsville. What a great town. And
top of the agenda, trade and tariffs, and making Canada's economy more resilient in the face of Donald Trump's economic threats, including plans to tear down interprovincial trade barriers.
Never quick enough, never far enough. But the important thing is that we keep taking steps.
we are an economic powerhouse, and we don't have to take a backseat to anyone.
Today, premiers met with Indigenous leaders, some of whom have expressed serious concerns over plans to fast-track major projects like pipelines and mines while still respecting Indigenous rights.
They have to make sure, though, that there's space for First Nations people at these tables. We cannot be left, as an afterthought anymore.
Balancing the need for economic participation that benefits Métis governments and their citizens, and making sure that those benefits don't come at the expense of, duty to consult.
Premiers are pitching it as an opportunity to work together.
We think this is a great opportunity for economic reconciliation with First Nations, but we think that that's going to be a way that we can make sure that we're addressing both the national interest as well as historic reconciliation issues.
This is an opportunity of a lifetime. This door is only open for so long, and I'm getting endless messages from chiefs around the province. I want to be part of the economic zone. We welcome them.
Tomorrow, the Prime Minister is set to join the premiers. He's expected to provide an update on how trade negotiations with the United States are going. Kate McKenna, CBC News, Huntsville, Ontario.
Meanwhile, Mark Carney met with a group of U.S. senators in Ottawa. The senators described the meeting with the Prime Minister as positive. Minister of Foreign Affairs Anita Anand also met with the bipartisan group. They discussed ways to protect one of the world's most robust trading relationships amid Donald Trump's trade war.
We are 4 United States senators, Democrats, Republicans, here to talk about making sure that in the days ahead we build on a productive economy for Canada and the United States.
The meeting came a week after Trump threatened to impose a 35% tariff on some Canadian goods on August 1st. Carney has said a trade deal with the U.S. will likely include some tariffs. Israel has expanded its offensive to an area in the center of the Gaza Strip for the first time in its war with Hamas militants. Until now, troops have stayed away from the area because it's believed militants are holding Israeli hostages there. As Nala Ayed reports, this new offensive is concerning both Palestinians and Israelis. A caution first, viewers may find some of the images in this story disturbing.
In a place where almost nowhere is safe. Deir el-Balah was safer than most, but no longer. Tens of thousands of Palestinians, many in tents, forced to move yet again. Just as we came from the north with only our clothes, we're leaving with only our clothes, says Ahmed Abu al-Hussein, who had grabbed his children and left under fire overnight. It is the first time Israeli forces have launched a major offensive in this slice of Gaza, a key hub for several humanitarian agencies, and now, Israel says, a necessary target. But it may be, Israeli sources say, where Israel believes Hamas is hiding some of the remaining Israeli hostages. Their families are alarmed and issued a statement demanding answers. The people of Gaza, says the World Food Programme, have reached new levels of desperation. Dozens more Palestinians shot while trying to get food. On Sunday by Israeli soldiers who say they were only warning shots due to an immediate threat. Now, 25 foreign ministers, including Canada's, condemned the drip feeding of aid and the inhumane killing of civilians, including children.
Majesty, it's a great honor.
Prime Minister Mark Carney underlined their message in a meeting with Jordan's king.
Today, calling for an immediate ceasefire, of course, the release of all the hostages, but also the resumption at scale of humanitarian aid.
The Israeli foreign minister dismissed the declaration as misguided and counterproductive. The UN says the deprivation is increasingly killing people, including 3-month-old Yahya Najjar. He was dehydrated and malnourished, says his mother.
During the previous months, we have lost more than 73 cases of children due to malnutrition, and this number is increasing every day and every moment, if we can say.
Every moment this conflict continues leaves the vulnerable even more so. Nala Ayed, CBC News, London.
The U.S. government has condemned the joint statement signed by Canada and other countries. U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee called it, quote, disgusting. He says Hamas is responsible for the bloodshed in Gaza and accuses the militant group of having rejected every proposal for a ceasefire. Was another sleepless night for residents of Kyiv. Hundreds of Russian missiles and hundreds of drones pounded Ukraine overnight. 2 people are dead and 15 others are wounded. The attacks also damaging residential buildings and causing fires in several parts of the country. Russia has intensified its overnight strikes in recent weeks, targeting cities far from the front lines. Those strikes happening ahead of a meeting Monday morning of Ukraine's allies, including Canada. Well, at least 19 people are dead and 164 are injured after a Bangladesh Air Force training jet crashed into a school campus in the capital city of Dhaka. Officials say the trainer jet experienced mechanical failure shortly after taking off for a training exercise. The pilot attempted to divert the plane to a less populated area before crashing into the campus. The Air Force says the pilot was among those killed. And the incident comes a little more than a month after an Air India plane crashed into a medical college hostel in India, killing 241 of the 242 people on board and 19 others on the ground. The Montreal father of a 9-year-old girl found dead in northeastern New York is now facing charges, including second-degree murder. Police say they received a call Saturday night from a man reporting his daughter missing in the area of Lake George, possibly due to an abduction.
On Sunday, July 20th, a search detail comprised of officers from multiple agencies conducted an organized search in the town of Ticonderoga, New York. In an area Mr. Fratone was suspected of having visited. During that search detail, at approximately 10:50, members of the New York State Police Forest Rangers located Melina deceased in the shallow portion of a pond.
New York State Police have identified the child as Melina Fratolin and her father, 45-year-old Luciano Fratolin, both Quebec residents. Officers told reporters the father and daughter were on vacation in the U.S. and were due to return to Canada on Sunday. Police say Melina lived full-time with her mother and the parents have been estranged since 2019. On Saturday, police say Melina spoke to her mother on the phone and appeared to be in good health. Sometime after, Fratolin murdered allegedly his daughter and left her body in a remote area about 50 kilometers east of Lake George. Police say further investigation revealed inconsistencies in the father's account of the events, which eventually led to his arrest. Data shared with CBC News through an access to information request is raising questions about the death rate of federal inmates. The Correctional Service acknowledges they never intended to make the figures public and released unredacted data to CBC by accident. Thomas Dagla has the exclusive story.
Ashley Fontaine's brother spent most of his life in custody. After a string of violent crimes and mental health struggles, Kendall Lee Campo told his sister he wanted to turn his life around. He never could.
A lot of those places that he did go to were supposed to stabilize his behaviors.
Campo overdosed on methadone at age 31, less than 2 years before his expected release. His case is one among many. Federal inmates dying not long before they're set to walk free.
I felt like he was robbed of his life, and there wasn't anything that I could do.
Data obtained by CBC News shows from 2019 onward, Correctional Service Canada recorded 136 deaths deemed non-natural, mostly suicides and overdoses. What's more, the agency has failed to curb such deaths, with the rate remaining stable year after year. All of it, say advocates, highlighting an urgent need for better support in those crucial final months.
There needs to be, both for provincial sentences and federal sentences, people in the jails who help them plan for release, and those really don't exist right now.
Richard Miller served time in federal custody himself and says it can prove a dangerous cycle.
Guys are in prison and they're doing time. They do not have the resources that's needed for them to reintegrate.
Ashley Fontaine remains haunted by her brother's death and by these words.
All he ever said to me about his experience in jail is that you never want to go there.
Correctional Service Canada declined our interview request. A spokesperson said every death in custody is investigated and that staff are committed to learning from each incident. Thomas Dagg, CBC News, Toronto.
Malcolm-Jamal Warner, who co-starred in the classic sitcom The Cosby Show, has died. Warner drowned in Costa Rica during a family vacation on Sunday. Authorities say he was pulled into the ocean by a current while swimming. Warner became a household name for his role as Bill Cosby's son, Theo Huxtable, from 1984 to 1992. His other credits for acting include roles on Malcolm and Eddie, Grownish, and the reboot of The Wonder Years. Malcolm-Jamal Warner was 54 years old. The Badlands is home to the largest deposits of dinosaur bones in the world. But Alberta isn't the only province that attracts paleontologists. Manitoba has some fossils of its own, and there's something fishy about them. The CBC's Karen Pauls explains.
Lundar. So yeah, we're Silurian right here. We'll be just on the side of it.
Melina Jobbins and her team are going rock hunting. But they're not just looking for any rocks, they're looking for 390 million-year-old fossils, specifically of an extinct fish they recently identified and named Almostius lendarensis.
But we're hoping that we can look for more of these fish, and more of the placoderms, more of Elmo and its relatives as well.
When you think of prehistoric fish, this is what might come to mind. But the fish whose remains Jobbins is looking for is about 150 million years older and only about the size of a large Chinook salmon.
So what do we have here is the piece of a joel.
In the 1990s, researchers at the University of Manitoba discovered some ancient fossils in the quarries near Lake Manitoba.
We have a front tooth. We also have a lateral tooth, as we say, so a smaller cusp right here.
It's one of the first fish to develop body armor, jaws, and teeth. It's helping researchers understand how all of this evolved.
Studying this helps us understand how we got to having all these structures. That's so key.
After finding a few more fossils and filling in some of the gaps, Jobbins realized this was a new fish. She renamed and reclassified it. Her work published this month in a scientific journal. But she still wants to know more, which is why she and her team are here today.
A few more bits will allow us to have an even better understanding of what the animal looked like. What the features were of the animal.
Manitoba is a great place for finding fossils because we actually have a lot of different ages of rocks, which is really great for us paleontologists.
They find a lot of ancient fossils.
Yay! We got a piece of it.
But unfortunately, not another Almostius. Still, the local reeve is delighted by all of this.
We used to find all these little fossils when we were crawling around out here and going swimming and stuff, so it was actually pretty neat that when you get the experts out here and kind of show you exactly how old things were and what they are.
Sifting through these dusty rocks, looking for clues from our past to get an insight into how we got here and maybe where we're going. Karen Pauls, CBC News, near Lundar, Manitoba.
If you're traveling to parts of PEI and you forgot your dog's leash, well, don't worry, there is a library for that. The Island Nature Trust has put leash libraries on 4 public beaches. The organization wants to encourage owners to put their dogs on a leash before walking on the beach. The Nature Trust says it's to help protect piping plover nests and other migratory birds. Canada's main stock index lost steam throughout the trading day Monday to close just a few points higher, while U.S. markets were mixed. Have a look at the numbers as we head to commercial break.
This weather update is brought to you by Access Wellness Nova Scotia. Book your appointment today for free, confidential mental wellness support.
And Jay's back with one last look at the weather. So the skies are clearing and Tuesday sounds pretty nice.
Yeah, looking to be, if you don't mind temperatures maybe being a bit below seasonal, I love low humidity days where there's abundant sunshine. I think the one thing that we could do without is the brisk wind, but that's kind of the reason it's not going to be overly oppressive. We still have a few more isolated showers, thunderstorms, so do be sky aware this evening as there could be some locally heavy downpours, stronger winds as well. Despite it being cool today, it was still on the muggy side. That thunderstorm threat kind of retreats to more northern and eastern areas towards midnight and should taper off shortly after midnight into the early morning hours, and that sets us up for just a very sunny and comfortable, albeit a little on the windy side, certainly for eastern areas, kind of Tuesday. So not a bad one as we look to tomorrow. And we'll take a look at your day planner for the HRM. We'll start out around 14 degrees, sunny in the morning. That wind from the northwest 20 gusting to 40 as we look to coastal areas, and certainly as we look to more eastern parts of the province, that wind could be gusting still over 50 kilometers per hour in the morning. As we look towards the noon hour, maybe just a few clouds developing, but more sun than cloud. It's looking to be very sunny, and temperatures will be generally between 20 and 23 degrees for most areas. And when you factor in the humidity, the humidex, or what it feels like when you step outside, 22, maybe feeling like 24, 25. That's a pretty nice and comfortable Tuesday. Just make sure you've got the sunscreen handy, and you want to keep an eye on the patio furniture as we look to the overnight hours tonight. Certainly a little on the brisk side for those more exposed coastal areas, although that wind will be gradually easing through the day as well.
All right. Well, thanks for that, Jay. We appreciate it.
You got it.
In less than a month, athletes from all over Canada will be in St. John's for the 2025 Canada Games. That means it's crunch time for many athletes. The CBC's Sheehan Desjardins stopped by a recent men's rugby practice for Team PEI to see how they're feeling heading into the Games.
1, 2, 3, PEI. It's almost time for Canada Games in Newfoundland, and PEI's men's rugby sevens team is ready to battle for top 5.
I think we got a lot of fight compared to some other provinces. I think we don't really roll over and lose easily, so I think that's definitely to our advantage.
The men's sport is back in the games for the first time in over a decade. Players say they normally play with 15, so changing to 7 has been an adjustment.
Our biggest focus right now is a lot of us are 15s rugby players, so it's a big shift to go from 15s to 7s play styles, so that's been our big focus for the past year and a half and really just the next month leading up to games.
There are other challenges too. The island is small. That means the pool of athletes is as well.
We have a very small group to pick from compared to other teams. So obviously BC, Ontario, those guys are going to be really strong.
But that's also PEI's biggest strength.
We really know each other. We're not just a randomly selected group of guys. We've all played together for years. So when I see a guy going in, I know what he's going to do. Like, I've played with them. I know how they play.
It's a family, like especially this team. Like, we've all known each other for years now. We've all played together before. Like, it's just an awesome culture. We're all brothers pretty well.
You can see that during practice. Hear it too. Good. Use it. Most of these guys have never been to Canada Games and say it's an experience they'll remember for sure. The head coach knows this team is special, and regardless of the outcome.
I just want to thank them for giving me the opportunity to do this, and I want to tell them that it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and this group is unique. It's a group that has a lot of grit. It's a group that has a lot of skill, physicality, playmaking abilities, and like I say, it is fun.
The team will play their first game on August 11th. Sheehan Desjardins, CBC News, Charlottetown.
Good luck to them. That is it for us tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.